The US has less than 4% of its forests left. 40% of America's rivers and 46% of America's lakes are too polluted for fishing, swimming, or aquatic life. 40% of our waterways are undrinkable. 75% of global fisheries have been fished beyond their capacity. 100,000 synthetic chemicals are used in production today. Bromated flame retardants and neurotoxins are in computers, mattresses, and pillows, items that Americans use in their everyday lives. It has been said the food with the highest level of contaminants in some areas in the US is a mother's milk. We see more ads in 1 year than people 50 years ago saw in a lifetime. That's 3,000 ads a day. People in the US spend 3 to 4 times as much time shopping as Europeans do. An average American consumes twice as much as they did 50 years ago. Average house size has doubled in the US since the 1970s. And the US has 5% of the world's population, but 30% of its waste. We generate 30 billion foam cups, 220 million tires, and 1.8 billion disposable diapers every year. Over 80% of the items Americans place in landfills can be recycled, but they are not. In 2010, the United States emitted approximately 5,492,170 metric tons of carbon dioxide. This number is second only to China, ranking the US as the second worst producer of CO2 in the world. Nearly all sources of energy that our world relies on begins with the combustion of carbon. But it's a catch-22, because CO2 production and its associated harmful effects is one of the single largest environmental problems that we as humans face today. However, there is hope, and it is carbon neutrality. Carbon neutral, or carbon neutrality, is achieving net zero carbon emissions by balancing a measured amount of carbon released with an equivalent amount sequestered or offset. In simpler terms, it is making up for every molecule of carbon dioxide emitted. Nature's way of carbon neutrality can be seen through the processes of cellular respiration and photosynthesis. Through cellular respiration, a cow will produce a small amount of CO2. However, a tree that is nearby will use that CO2 through its process of photosynthesis and convert it into sugars and oxygen, therefore neutralizing the original CO2 produced by the cow. A real-life example of how a company may become carbon neutral is if an airline produces 4.14 metric tons of CO2, but then the airline company plants enough trees to offset the 4.14 tons through photosynthesis. One thing to keep in mind is that trees are not the only mechanism available to help us become carbon neutral. Utilization of renewable energy, practicing non-wasteful lives, and recycling are all ways that humans can help accomplish the goal of carbon neutrality. Worcester Academy has pledged to become carbon neutral by 2020. In 2006, they set a goal of reducing carbon emissions by 30% in 5 years. In 2011, Worcester Academy emitted 2,115.2 metric tons of CO2. Obviously, reaching neutral CO2 levels in 8 years will be a challenge. From talking to students, faculty, and from my own experiences, I believe I have found one major source of delay in reaching our goal. Without strong support and emphasis on sustainability issues, goals, and education from Worcester Academy's administration, it is too easy for students and even faculty to overlook the idea of going green at WA. When asked if they were even aware of WA's goal of carbon neutrality, 83% of Worcester Academy's community responded with no. But that was not even the most telling outcome of the survey. In response to the question, students and faculty replied with the following comments.
What is carbon neutral?
When did this happen?
I was not informed of this update.
We should be learning more about this in assemblies and classes.
Worcester Academy has an incredible goal and is aspiring to accomplish something few have. We are setting the tone for others. We are trying to take a leap forward. And we are solving a real-world problem However, our community is not aware of this. When asked how progressive the WA administration is in their sustainability efforts, 76% of WA's community said only slightly progressive. In their comments, there was a similar theme.
More education programs during assemblies would help.
There are achievements in this area happening every day, but no one knows because no one hears about it or has many opportunities to help. Some people really don't care. I think the school should do more to make people aware. I spoke to 2 faculty members from other New England independent schools, and I learned that while other schools are moving quicker along in their sustainability goals, they face similar struggles that we do at WA.
My name is Emily Stevens. I teach science in the middle school, so 7th and 8th grade. I'm head of the Footprint Committee, which is a faculty-run committee. There's 8 faculty members throughout the different departments, as well as development, to make sure that ideas kind of can get through that as well. Our mission statement right now, we don't have any specific CO2 reduction or footprint reduction with like materials and waste streams and stuff like that. The mission is really to create a culture around sustainability, thing that like actually gets the community into involvement. We had like a huge blackboard and that like allowed people to write chalk on it, and like it would be like, you know, why is it easy to make a short-term decision when, you know, there's long-term consequences. We've actually used a lot of NSTAR programs to reduce the amount of electricity put out by our lights. We bring on speakers onto campus. A model that we found has been really good is to have that speaker attend different classes. The wheel seal. I don't know if you like, so you can carbon neutralize like vans and stuff like that.
Okay.
So we've done that. We've bought from a company that one of our parents works for. Is GXT, and you buy offsets basically for whatever.
Like carbon credits?
Yeah. All their food gets composted. All the food that we eat gets composted. All our utensils are either reusable silverware or compostable, so potato starches. And same with the cups, they're all compostable. Even the plastic ones, sorry, not the plastic ones, the clear ones that look plasticky are still from food, plant products.
It's something I'm seeing here. There is a lot of faculty and student initiative, and obviously you think it's important, but I just, like, if you had a statement about how important you think that is, or, you know.
Yeah. I think it's present on campus. I don't think it's, like, really pronounced. I think the people that are involved in it are very aware of it. I think the people who are not involved in it are not super aware of it. They get speakers once in a while, but they don't kind of see all the work behind the scenes. If you asked a student on campus, they'd be like, yeah, we kind of maybe do this, but it's not like a part of everyone's daily culture. So I think that would be a major goal. That is one of our goals for next year, is to get more just like student involvement. I think that the bigger goals of like getting CO2 reduced are going to come from the people who can make big money decisions, because that's what's really going to come from. But the school's excitement around it is going to come from the students, not from big changes that require a lot of money. So little events that they can host, little petitions, little movie competitions, that type of stuff will get kids excited, and I think the younger that you can start, the more it will be present.
I think St. Mark's has started off vigorously with the physical plant. Now they're really focusing on student activities and behavior, changing behavior. I think another really good part is the food waste. We really have done a good job at getting food waste collected and then sent to a pig farm right now.
Okay.
So some people do composting with their waste, and that's a little trickier because you got to keep the proteins out of it and anything toxic. But for the pig farm, they go for everything. We're offering a new class, Global Sustainability. Now we've got a request for proposals out. We're collecting information from companies, what they could do for us in terms of building a 1 to 2 megawatt solar array. And we're looking at it producing, somewhere around 50% of our electrical needs. Agreed that the next dorm that goes up, probably in the next 5 years, will be carbon neutral. I explained to the students in meetings that they're going to be the ones that demand change from the adults eventually, and that it's their generation that really has to make a huge change. There's a certain amount of who cares and apathy, and it was upsetting for me to see that. Changing student behavior is key. It's key. Recycling and energy efficiency is pablum. What you need right now is wholesale activism to really do what needs to be done right now. And you need to change quickly. And that's what the trust is. It's got to come from the top down. And it's got to be painful, quick, substantial activism. We got to become activists.
Things must change at Worcester Academy. We must become activists. Sustainability is not part of our culture yet, and until it is, we are limiting WA's full potential to be great. Other schools struggle with their sustainability programs as well. But I believe there is an enormous difference between WA and other schools. Other schools have curriculums that make sustainability a focal point. Other schools put forward funding that make projects like a 1 megawatt solar array possible. Other schools operate their dining halls and facilities with a zero waste policy. However, many of these schools struggle to gain student involvement and excitement to make these opportunities a success. But that is what I know Worcester Academy can do. At Worcester Academy, I know our students are driven with passion in everything they do. WA students have run a day of school dedicated to learning about diversity by experiencing it. WA students have won titles and have achieved national recognition, and WA students have performed and attracted audiences from all around the world. I know that WA students work hard every day to achieve the highest they can. I believe if given the opportunity and support from the administration, our community can become a leader and example in the field of sustainability. I challenge Worcester Academy's facilities to operate in ways that conserve and do not waste, and I challenge the administration to provide them with the necessary tools to make this possible. I challenge Worcester Academy's faculty to create and deliver a curriculum that educates students about sustainability with an interdisciplinary approach, and I challenge the administration to support them. And I challenge Worcester Academy's new student leadership to make sustainability a forefront in their agenda, and I challenge the administration to back them up. In reality, we don't need to hang around for the go-ahead from the administration. As President Obama once said, change will not come if we wait for some other person, or if we wait for some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek.